are continuing in section 5.4. So 5.4, dividing polynomials. Continued. Whoops. Continued. Now we have two more methods to talk about, and then we also have to talk about what we call the remainder theorem. So we have quite a bit to cover, so I want to get going right away. The box method actually works backward from what we're doing, and I want to just cover that one really quickly. Chances are you guys aren't going to use it. You'd either do synthetic, which we're going to talk about today, or you're going to do long division. But I will show you the box method in case you're interested. Okay? All right, so box method. If we are taking, let's go with x to the third plus 3x squared minus, that one, hold on, I don't want to do that one, my bad. It's too long for me to show you the box, I mean, it's not too long, but I know what I'm saying. All right, let's go with 2x to the third minus 3x squared minus 18x minus 8, and we're going to divide by x minus 4. All right, so we're going to put our box up here. We're dividing by x minus 4, so that's going to go down the side. Our first term is the first term in the box, which is 2x to the third. What times x would have given me 2x to the third? 2x squared. So I'm going to put that right above. Now I'm going to fill in my first column. Negative 8x squared. So then my second term would have been this diagonal added together. So what would I have to add to this to get negative 3x squared? Good. So this is 5x squared. So what times x gives me 5x squared? Yep, plus 5x. And then I fill in my column, which would be minus 20x. Then this diagonal has to equal negative 18x. 2x. Again, what times x gives me 2x? Positive 2. Fill in my diagonal, or fill in my column, which is negative 8. If that is my last number, then I get to stop. If I have a remainder, I would do this, and my remainder would be what's left in my last diagonal. Okay, so it really isn't bad using the box method. It's a little bit faster than long division. You're just undoing the box. What I really want to talk about is the method that I think you're all going to use whenever you possibly can. It's called synthetic. Synthetic means that it replicates division, but it's not really dividing, right? Just like you mentioned synthetic oil. It's oil, it replicates oil, but it's not really oil. So it's the same type of thing. The way synthetic is going to work for us, we're going to make a long one-sided tic-tac-toe. Across the top is going to be the coefficient of the divided. And out here is going to be our 0 that we're dividing by. Okay? We're always going to bring our first coefficient down, and then we're going to multiply. And it goes here. Then we add, and it goes here. Then we're going to multiply, and it's going to go here. So I'm going to show you how this works, but it follows a pattern all the way through. All right? So let's say I have the exact same one we just had up there, which was 2x to the third minus 3x squared minus 18x minus 8. And we're dividing by x minus 4. All right. So first we make a long one-sided tic-tac-toe. My coefficients are 2, negative 3, negative 18, and negative 8. The 0, what makes what I'm dividing by 0? Positive 4. So I'm going to put a positive 4 out here. That's a key. That's important. It has to be the 0 of what we're dividing by. All right. So now, this is how it works. We bring our first term down, which is a 2. Now we multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. We add these together. We get 5. Repeat the process. 4 times 5 is 20. We add these together. We get 2. 4 times 2 is 8. We add this together. We get 0. This last spot is our remainder. The rest of the numbers, we go down by one exponent. So what this really is 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. Remainder 0. Okay? So this is called synthetic. This is what we're going to work on today before we get to the remainder 0. All right? This is going to be key as we're moving forward. So here we go with example number 1. All right, example number 1 is going to be your 19 and 20. Determine if a factor. But this time we're going to use synthetic. So we're going to take x squared. Oh, it's 19 and 20, so you're doing odd, so I guess it's 19. Same deal. All right, so we have x to the third plus 4x squared plus x minus 6. And we're going to divide by x minus 3. All right, so we're going to do a long one-sided tic-tac-toe. On the top, my coefficients are 1, 4, 1, negative 6. My 0 is 3 that goes to the outside. I bring down my 1. I multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. I add them together. We get 7. Now I multiply. 3 times 7 is 21. I add them together, I get 22. 3 times 22 is 66. I add them together, I get 60. If this is my remainder, is this a factor? No. So we say no. All right. Example number 2. Example number 2 is covering 21 through 21 through 31. I want you to divide. And we are going to start by having, let's go, x to the third minus 4x squared plus 6x minus 4. And we're going to divide by x minus 2. So we draw our long one-sided tic-tac-toe. Across the top is 1, negative 4, 6, negative 4. What goes on the outside? Oh, careful. Positive 2, the 0, positive 2. All right, we bring the first number down, which is a 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Add it together, we get negative 2. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Add them together, we get positive 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Add them together, we get 0. So there's no remainder. Our actual answer is 1x squared minus 2x plus 2. Okay, Jordan, back it up. Where did I lose you? You do. You always bring down the 1, then you multiply. We always bring the... We're going to do another one, okay? Then you'd start with x to the third. Huh? Well, yeah. You got to put it as a remainder. We're going to do one where it doesn't right now, okay? All right, here we go. Here's example number 3. Example number 3, again, I want you to divide. And let's go with, I want one a little bit bigger. All right, let's go with x to the 4th minus 3x to the 3rd plus 5x squared plus 7x minus 2, and let's divide by x plus 3. All right, so we're going to do a long one-sided tic-tac-toe. Coefficients go across the top. We have 1, negative 3, 5, 7, and negative 2. On the outside, negative 3. Do we have any questions on how I just set that up? Good. All right, we bring the first number down. That's a 1. Now we multiply. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Add them together, we get negative 6. Now we multiply. Negative 3 times negative 6 is 18. We add them together, we get 23. Now we multiply. Negative 3 times 23 is negative 69. Add them together, we get negative 62. Now we multiply. Negative 3 times negative 62 is positive 186. Add them together, we get 184. All right. So now this goes down by 1x. Remember, this is our remainder. So we have x to the 3rd minus 6x squared plus 23x minus 62, remainder 184. Yes. Yes. No, I just did it in my head. Yeah, it's not that hard. Okay, let me go back and look at it. Okay. Right. Just a minute. I gotta see if I can move that out of the way.
Yeah, I wrote it down wrong.
Okay. Okay. If you can't get a 0 in what you're dividing by. So like if we're dividing by a trinomial, if we're dividing by something that's imaginary, if we're dividing by like 2x plus 7, then your 0 would be like negative 7 halves, and you don't want to do this. Do you know what I mean? Okay? All right, you guys, hey, stay with me here. Stay with me. We're going to keep going. So, how are we doing on this whole synthetic thing? Good. All right. So we can move on to the remainder theorem? All right. So next thing I want to talk about is the remainder theorem. Okay, the remainder theorem says if you plug the 0 into the function, the result is your remainder. Yep. Yes. All right, so here we go with example number 4. All right, and example number 4 is touching on 33 through 39. All right. So they say use synthetic and remainder theorem to find, they call it P of A. It's how they're writing it in the book. So what they're going to give you is something that looks like this. It says P of X equals x to the third plus 4x squared minus 8x minus 6, and they're telling you that A is negative 2. That's already your 0. They're already telling you that. Okay? So first we're going to do it by synthetic. Doesn't take very long to do that. I'm going to do a whole one-sided tic-tac-toe over here. I'm going to plug in my coefficients of 1, 4, negative 8, and negative 6. My 0 is the A. I'm going to put that on the outside. I bring down my 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Add it together. We get 2. Now we multiply. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. We add it together. Get negative 12. Negative 2 times negative 12 is 24. We add it together. We get 18. 18 is our remainder. Now we're going to do it by the remainder theorem, which means we're going to take negative 2, our 0, and plug it into our function. So we have P of X equals negative 2 to the third plus 4 times negative 2 squared minus 8 times negative 2 minus 6. So you can type that in your calculator. You can do it in your head, whichever is easier for you. This is negative 8. Huh? Yeah, I mean, I'd mark some of it down. Plus 16 minus 6. And 16 is 32. Yeah, gives you 18. Yeah, it's the remainder theorem. That's the whole point. Okay, so if we ever just want the remainder, you can do the remainder theorem. That's what I'm trying to show you. So in this case, it asks you to do both so that you can make sure. Neither take very long, right? But that's the whole point. Okay? Oh, okay. All right. So let's see. I have you guys going to 43. So there's a couple more problems on here I just want to discuss very quickly. Let's go with example number 5. Let's see. If you have the expression, let's say I have 1/3 times x to the third plus 5x squared plus 8x plus 4, and I'm going to divide it by x plus 1. What I'm really going to do is I want to factor completely. So one of those factors is going to be this x plus 1. Okay, I need to find the rest of them. So the first thing I have to do is divide it by x plus 1. So I'm going to do synthetic. So I have 1x to the third, 5x squared, 8x, and 4. So quick question before I keep going. What if I was missing like an x squared? What do you think you have to do for your coefficient? Okay, just checking. All right, so then what is my 0 of this parenthesis? Minus 1. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and divide. I bring down my 1. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. I add it together. I get 4. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. I add it together. I get 4. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4, and we get a remainder of 0. What we have left here is x squared plus 4x plus 4. which we can continue to factor. 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. What are my sides? 2 and 2. So I have x plus 2. I have another x plus 2, so I'm going to say x plus 2 squared. And we had the factor of x plus 1. And if you go back to the original problem, I had a 1/3 in front. Okay, so we're just factoring completely, which you guys know how to do. So you divide it to get it down to a quadratic that you already know, and then factor. Oh, yeah. Yep. You could have probably go back in a majority of yesterday's. You could have done in synthetic. But, all right. You guys got this? Okay. Yes, you do.